Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure where the other Yu-Gi-Oh! But AI account went. Yeah, the one I was looking at some of the cards from earlier, on like I think the 6th live stream of this I did. Yeah, I was definitely looking at some of this account's cards on like the last live stream of this I did. One of which being this super poly target that just let you cheat out any monster with 0 attack and defense from the deck, after already just being able to use it to just wipe out potentially 2 of your opponent's best monsters. Yeah, that silly Armageddon cat that can apparently cheat out Yubel the Ultimate Nightmare even. Why not just skip straight to the final stage of Yubel? And there was also like that Link 4 that just, if it were to somehow like get like destroyed by a card effect, even though it was completely unaffected by card effects, it could just banish everything that ever existed face down. So I don't know where they went, but I don't really think it's my business. They must have closed their account. But the original Yu-Gi-Oh! But AI Twitter account, they've returned from their hiatus. They are in fact back from hiatus. Yeah, I think they took their hiatus like late March and they came back like roughly the middle of May. So yes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards but made by an AI, he has taken his break, but he's back to continue just generating content for us. So yeah, like major props to this person making these cards, running this account. Yeah, I still have like a lot of fun just reading these AI-generated Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. So I think I'm gonna start from here and start scrolling up. I don't think I saw this left leg here. Okay, sure, it's Exodia's left leg, but this looks like it might have just been like ripped from like some photo of an action figure or something. We already have like a left leg of the Forbidden One. Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the actual left leg of the Forbidden One? Yeah, first things first, like the name is already taken. There's already a left leg of the Forbidden One, but what does this one do? Apparently this is a normal monster, but it has flavor text that reads like an effect, but it's a normal monster. If this face up, normal monster is destroyed by battle or card effect. Target one set spell or trap card in the field, destroy that target. That's the flavor text on the normal monster. So let's just assume that that's actually never gonna do anything. I love that its effect even states that it is a normal monster. When the effect is actually lore that doesn't do anything. We need more flavor text written like effects. But my effect doesn't trigger because it's actually just flavor text. Yeah, this is when, like, the person who ran the account, this is when they were taking questions before they just took that hiatus. And I already saw, like, some of these, like, flavor text on some of these monsters. Well, I think I definitely saw the Wisdom Reaper or something. Oh yeah, I've seen this one already. I don't know if I recognize the other 3. Okay. I think this is actually legit the flavor text that shows up on like the real version of Wolf. This is supposed to be Joey, as in Joey from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. This is supposed to be his Brooklyn accent. Which was, I shit you not, actually printed on some of Joey's like normal monsters. This alpha wolf uses his sense of smell to find the people in the speedboat till he can track users. Okay, I don't remember like the flavor text mentioning anything about speedboats, but it was, yeah, at least for Wolf, I think, it was definitely written in Joey's Brooklyn accent. Okay, I think I saw this one a while ago. I can't believe this happened. You must have lived to tell me this is the end of the world. Endymion's effect monsters are no longer normal or special summon, but that's just the lore. Oh yeah, the Reaper of the Wisdom, I've already seen this one, too. A reminder to the world, if you're correct in your assessment of this card, you are only following the crowd. I don't think I've seen this one before. Lifeless Shadow. Level 2 Dark Fiend with 600 attack, 700 defense. A fiend that dwells in a sleep-deprived world. Sometimes it's better to let the noise destroy me than to be silenced. Okay. Monsters and spell or trap datasets are separate batches, so ritual monsters and spell cards can't be in the same batch, so the kind of text you see on spell cards can't really get, like, interchanged with the kind of text you see on monster cards, typically. Same with fusion monsters and spell cards. At least listed fusion materials have a chance to show up in the same batch. So this, I just assume, is that, like, the spells and traps and the monsters must have been trained separately, and as a result, like, you wouldn't really see, like, characteristics of spell cards pop up on monsters. Or the other way around. That wouldn't make sense if, like, a model was trained on, like, one set of data. Like, it really shouldn't, like, be, like, finding, like, any sort of information from the other data set. Create the data set by taking the card text from Yugipedia. I assume this was, like, before it went offline. Latest data set is until Photon Hypernova. Monsters and spells and traps are 2 different data sets. To avoid issues like spells having attack and defense, or monster text just reading too much like spells and traps. And again, as I already must have, like, read this, how they prefer not to use AI art. Yeah, the usage of AI art is definitely, like, questionable at best in some cases because, yeah, for most of the big data sets, a lot of images that were actually used for training were just taken from artists without their consent, and any, like, financial gain that's going to be made from the AI model in the future, none of it's going to go to the actual artists who created some of the pieces, which were just taken to train the model. Alright, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Ooh, it's a rank 8! Consider me interested already. Valiant Eyes Shark Knight Lancer. We got a rank 8 Water Beast Warrior, 2 level 8 monsters, so this is fully generic. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls. Detach 1 material from a water Xyz monster you control, so it can be Valiant Eyes himself. And if you do, destroy that target. Its owners cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn. So, the owner of whatever card you just popped, they're locked out of monster effects for the turn. Also, its attack becomes half its original attack. The target that you already destroyed is then having its attack changed in the graveyard? What's the point? Also, its attack becomes 1,000. No, its attack becomes... Also... Actually, no, it doesn't even say its attack becomes anything. Also, its attack x 1,000 times 1,000 becomes half its original defense. I don't get it. Its owner cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn. Also, its attack becomes half its original attack. Also, its attack times 1,000 becomes half its original defense. Considering the card was already taken off the field, I'm just gonna ignore all that. The AI is just getting confused again. Card once per turn. When another monster's effect is activated, you can detach 1 material from this card. Negate the activation, and if you do destroy that monster, then you can detach another material from this card and special summon 1 water Xyz monster from your extra deck. This is treated as an Xyz summon, transfers materials to the summoned monster, so... Whose materials? Well, I know the monster you're summoning is a water Xyz monster from your extra deck, but... From which monster are you transferring over the materials? This one? I mean, it doesn't say, like, you're using another, like, Xyz monster's material. In this case, it just says you're just special summoning something from the extra deck. Yeah, no mention that you're just summoning that, like, having to use, like, another Xyz monster, like, on... Yeah, usually when you're, like, just cheating, like, Xyz monsters out of the extra deck, you usually just, like, ranking them on top of other Xyz monsters, but... So far from what I'm reading, like, there's no mention that Shark Knight Lancer's second effect, like, you need to just use, like, another monster as a base for whatever you're summoning from the extra deck, so... Transfer whose materials to summon monster? There's, like, no, like, other, like, Xyz monster, or other monster to just transfer materials from, so... The summon monster's gonna have, like, no materials, but... Any water Xyz monster. I don't know, how about Totally Awesome? Because he doesn't need to detach materials to just send himself to the graveyard to just basically like negate an opponent's card effect, and also let you set it to your field. So this card can just pop your opponent's monsters, do stuff to their attack that doesn't really matter, shouldn't matter quite frankly, so that makes like no sense. After it's already been destroyed and sent to the graveyard to try and change its attack, that makes like no sense. And then this is also like a negate against monster effects, or you could attach two materials instead to both negate your opponent's monster effect and just cheat Totally Awesome out of the extra deck, who will be like another negate. Who can also negate something else. I definitely like my rank 8s, but this may be pushing it. Yeah, it's not just Totally Awesome you could just spit out of the extra deck either. Any water Xyz monster that, if it doesn't need to just detach materials to activate its effects, then... If there's like something other than Totally Awesome to just cheat out of the extra deck with this could definitely get really silly real quick. Hazy Flame Spirit. Level 6 Fire Pyro. Cannot be normal summoner set. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing one Hazy Flame monster you control. Once returned during your end phase, banish one card on the field. Once returned during your main phase 1, you can inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each card banished this way. Banished what way? Banished from the Hazy Flame Spirit, so you're going to have to just keep count of every card, or the number of cards that Hazy Flame Spirit has banished while it was on the field. And then just during your main phase 1, you can just inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each of the cards that it has banished so far while it was on the field. So you play this, and if it gets back to your turn and this is still on the field, you can burn your opponent for 800. Also, once returned during your end phase, banish one card of the field. This is mandatory, so you definitely won't want to like really play this going first and like your opponent not having a board yet, because this will otherwise just force you to banish one of your own cards if your opponent doesn't have anything to banish. Once returned during your battle phase, when a card or effect is activated, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. Okay. During your battle phase, when a card or effect is activated. So if you like go first, you're not gonna have a battle phase, but still. When a card or effect is activated, it should still be like pretty easy to get this to go off if you build around it. I also don't know if like Hazy Flame is actually like a real Yu-Gi-Oh archetype or not. It could be. Not sure if it is. It has like pretty low stats, but I don't know if there's a Hazy Flame archetype. I'm actually gonna go and see out of curiosity if there is one. Does it exist, or did the AI just make this up? No, it seems to exist. Level rank 6 fire monsters. They do exist. Hazy Flame, known as Haze Beast, is an archetype of level/rank 6 fire monsters, as well as a sub-archetype of the Hazy archetype. Fiery versions of various mythical creatures. So, the mythical phoenix or something this one's supposed to be? I've never seen these cards. They mainly focus on trying to set up Xyz summons, but this one is asking you to just tribute one of the Hazy Flame monsters you already have on the board, which definitely will not let you like get any closer to an Xyz summon. Advent of Pendulum Summoning may help them swarm the field quickly, except for one of them that has a special summon restriction. I mean, it's an archetype I've never heard of. I don't know, maybe the draw 2 cards, discard 1 card might be like a little too OP, but you're only like going like +1 in card advantage in a... This has to be like during your battle phase, so going first, you're not gonna be able to like draw any cards off of this. Yeah, it doesn't seem too ridiculous, to be honest. I think I could greenlight this. Painful Swords of Revealing Light. Ah, the Swords of Revealing Light Reach-Ring we never knew existed. Continuous Trap. When a monster you control battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. You can only use each of the following effects of Painful Swords of Revealing Light once per turn. During your main phase, you can reveal 1 level 7 light monster from your hand, and if you do, add 1 Thorn Fur monster from your deck to your hand with a different original type than that revealed monster. Is that a real archetype? Top trending searches in Yu-Gi-Oh! 2023. Makes a lot of sense to me. Related community, the Wild Thornberries Wiki. So, let's just assume it does not exist. Let's just imagine that hypothetically it did exist. If a monster is normal or special summon, you can draw cards equal to the number of Thorn Fur monsters you control +1. Okay. If Thorn Furs were like an archetype that like swarmed the field, then this would be like a hard no. Wait, there's not even a once per turn on the ability to like draw cards either. If a monster is normal or special summoned, and that's also you can, so it's not like if you have like plenty of Thorn Fur monsters on the field, your opponent could just try and summon enough times to force you to deck out. You have the option to just like decline to draw the cards if you're about to run out of cards in your deck, and if a monster is normal or special summoned, this could be either player just basically giving you cards equal to the number of your hypothetical monsters that belong to an archetype that don't actually exist. And even if they like don't really just swarm the field, even if you maybe have like only 1 or 2 of these theoretical monsters on the board, every time your opponent like tries to like play something, if they can't just get rid of the Painful Swords, they're going to be giving you card advantage only really comparable to Max C. Summon a monster, your opponent basically draws like at least 1 card. Oh, you can draw cards equal to the number of Thorn Fur monsters you control +1! I didn't even notice the +1 there until I just read it again, so even if you... No matter what! If somebody plays a monster, you draw 1 card! No matter what, you can draw a card for each summon. I cannot just say no to this card enough. I cannot buzz this card enough times. Unrelated to its namesake, but that's a lot of card advantage. Yeah, the effect that really jumped out at me has absolutely nothing to do with what the Swords of Revealing Light or like other cards are inspired by it or intended to do. In fact, there's like not even a single thing on this card that just makes it so your opponent's monsters can't attack in some capacity. Yeah, basically like swords and every like card very similar in style to it just makes it so your opponent can't attack you. And this has nothing on it whatsoever that just suggests that your opponent won't be able to attack. Swords of Revealing Light that do not at all function like Swords of Revealing Light. Instead, it functions more like Max C. Draw cards equal to the number of Thornfur monsters you control +1, even if you don't have any monsters from the archetype that doesn't exist. You'll still be drawing at least one card each time somebody plays anything. Mystic Swordsman, level 7 Warlock. One Mystic Swordsman monster and one level 6 or higher warrior monster. Must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials. You can only control one of this card. This card can attack twice during each battle phase. While this face-up card is on the field during your main phase, if you activate a Mystic Swordsman card effect, you can discard one Mystic Swordsman card, and if you do, add one Mystic Swordsman level 0 from your deck to your hand. And this is on a hard once per turn. Mystic Swordsman level 0 doesn't exist, but I guess just for the sake of evaluating this card, we have to assume that it does, but we would not know what it does. You just add a specific card from your deck to your hand. If you activate a Mystic Swordsman card effect, discard one Mystic Swordsman card to get a Mystic Swordsman level 0 from your deck to your hand. Yeah, like, minus the fact that the card that it adds from deck to hand literally does not exist, a design like this is just perfectly reasonable. Ivy Territory. Field spell. If your opponent special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can special summon one level 4 or lower dinosaur monster from your hand. And then, from here on out, each of these effects are hard once per turns. Special summon one reptile monster from your deck. Okay. Good thing it's locked into reptiles, which are definitely, like, more underrepresented than a lot of the other monster types in the game, but still. Special summon any reptile from deck. If this was, like, a more represented monster type like dragon, then there's no way you could ever print this. But even, like, just summoning reptiles out of the deck for free still might be overkill. Add one level 5 or higher sea serpent monster from your... What are we doing here? Or you can just add a level 5 or higher sea serpent monster from your deck to your hand. Or it's just special summon... What are we doing here? Or you can special summon dinosaurs from your hand. And judging by the card art, I think, like, this would... I think, like, plant-type monsters would fit the theme better than the 3 monster types that are actually in the text box on this thing. Thematically, like, speaking, like, in terms of, like, sticking to a theme, this card just fails horribly at that. But in terms of power level, I don't know, maybe... I mean, if it was, like, a more supported monster type, I would definitely just right away say this card is just too broken. If you could just cheat out, like, something, like, that has a lot more support, or just a lot more strong monsters. Don't really see reptile monsters too often. I'm playing it safe, plus thematically speaking, this card just flops hard. 3 monster types, and none of them are, like, plants or anything like that. None of them look like they would fit the card's art or name. Ivy Territory. But sure, apparently they just have dinosaurs, reptiles, and sea serpents hanging around the Ivy Territory. Broken dino support, broken reptile support, good sea serpent support. All on one card, mind you. This is undercover evil support. A card called Ivy Territory. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Supports 3 different monster types, and none of them are plant. Extra Viacroid X Union, which is a Synchro monster, level 9 Synchro. This looks like some Transformer, and is that's raw sphere mode in the background. Yeah, that is raw sphere mode for some reason. 1 Truckroid Tuner, plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. When this card is synchro summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of non-tuner face-up monsters on the field, so you'll be targeting up to at least 1 card on the field, guaranteed, because this itself is one of the non-tuner monsters. Destroy those targets. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of Winged Dragon of Raw cards. This effect. Oh, so that's why Sphere Mode is in the background. Oh, so that's what that's doing there. Just randomly Egyptian god support in this Viacroid card. And this effect, it only has 1,000 attack though. It's only gonna, well, it's not only gonna pop 1 card. It's probably gonna pop like more than that. Up to the number of non-tuner face-up monsters on the field, so this will also count your opponent's monsters, so probably this could easily just pop so many more cards than just 1. And your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to this. So let's just say your opponent has a full board of monsters, and then you summon this, you can just destroy all their monsters unless they have target protection or destruction protection, and your opponent can't respond to it. Or your Winged Dragon of Raw cards, if for some reason you're playing Winged Dragon of Raw and Viacroids in the same deck. Hey yo, this new Egyptian god support goes hard! Blueing Crown Magician. This is always treated as a Synchro Dragon card. Once per turn, if you have a Speedroid card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can add 1 Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand except Blue-Winged Crown Magician on a hard once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, target 1 face-up monster on the field. Equip this card to that target. While this card is equipped to a monster, spell or trap cards that are already face-up on the field cannot activate their effects. Okay, so if you just summon this, you can basically effectively lock both players out of spell or trap cards that have to be on the field to do stuff, which is, quite frankly, most spell and trap cards. Just summon this, and then just nobody can play spells and traps. Sure, why not? I don't know, this is still probably like just too strong of a floodgate for just how little like investment you'd need to like put in. Yeah, considering just like how little setup you'd need, just like draw this card or probably find a way to search it too, or just special summon it. Basically, like neither player gets to play spells or traps. I mean, nothing's stopping you from, of course, just playing your spells and traps first, like normal, and then just setting up the Blue-Winged Crown Magician. Yeah, both spells and traps, by the way. Once per turn, if you have a Speedroid card in your other Pendulum Zone, why? Why do you have that? Stop. Add Astrograph because why not? Hold up, this thing's kind of broken. I'd play this in Speedroids just for the pendulum effect. Finally, the bridge between Speedroids and, something? Probably? We did a guy, Speedroids are meta now. That doesn't even look like a magician. Fuck it, let him be on 6 archetypes. Finally, some lore. Alright, what is going on here? Alright, so Fiend Ritual level 6 Dark Monster. Familiar Possessed Abra Abrolhos, which you can ritual summon with any possessed ritual spell card. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. During your main phase, you can, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one monster from your hand, or if you curse this turn, you can special summon one ritual spell card from your hand. If you curse this turn. So if I just say, like, fuck, then I can special summon one ritual spell card monster from my hand. Okay, so the play would be to normal summon a monster, say fuck, special summon a ritual spell card from my hand. If you control a face-up ritual spell that was ritual summoned using this card's material. Wait, what? If you control a face-up ritual spell, which is written in parentheses, so that assumes, like, we're talking about a ritual spell monster or card, like a card with ritual spell in the name, that was ritual summoned, a ritual spell that was ritual summoned using this card to do the summon. You can special summon this card from your graveyard. You can... I love the if you curse this turn, but... this is still just, a lot of this does not really make sense. A lot of this does not fall into line with, like, normal Yu-Gi-Oh! If you curse this turn. Okay, so this is some card from Rush Duel, of course. How do you get cursed? No, I think, like, you don't get cursed. I think you actually just say, like, a curse word, and then you'll have cursed this turn. If you just say, like, a curse word at any point during your turn, then you get the special summon the ritual spell card from your hand. The ritual spell card or monster or whatever. It's a card with ritual spell card in its name, though those don't actually exist. I hate when I forget to curse my turn. Spyro Mission. Recapture. Apparently sealing United, we stand from somebody's board for some reason. Target any number of spiral monsters that are in your graveyard or banished. Special summon them, but their effects are negated. Also, you cannot activate them. If you control no monsters, you can activate one Spiral Mission Recapture directly from your deck. Wait, so you special summon monsters, and then if you control no monsters, you can activate another copy of this directly from your deck, but special summon any of a number of your banished or in your graveyard spiral monsters. Their effects are negated, you can't activate them, but you can just use them for whatever extra deck plays you want. Special summoning any number of monsters, even if it's like locked into one archetype still, that has the capacity to get really silly really quickly. And then there's just the second effect that literally can't do anything? I don't know, maybe unless your opponent just stops the summon, but not like the whole effect of the card. Like, let's just say somehow like no monsters actually get summoned to your field. Could the second effect still go through just to let you try and summon any number of spirals from your banished pile or your graveyard again? I mean, design-wise, the second effect makes absolutely no sense. It summons monsters to your field, and then it checks to see if you have no monsters, which... you should not have no monsters at that point. Obelisk the Executioner. For some reason, Obelisk needs another retrain. Yeah, a while ago we had, like, shut the fuck up, it's all just a form of card excavation. Divine Beast. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 dark monsters from your graveyard. I can see a lot of decks where this will be, like, really easy to just special summon then. I mean, back when Tier Limits monsters were running rampant, it would have been really easy to set up the dark monsters to summon this. Unless you just want to use those Tier Limits monsters in grave just to fusion summon anyways. You can discard one dark monster. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot activate the effects of monsters on the field or graveyard. Also, banish them when they leave the field. So, banish your monsters when they leave the field. You can only use this effect of Obelisk once per turn. Once per turn during the next standby phase. After this effect was activated, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. If your opponent somehow summons like more monsters to replace the monsters that got blown up during their turn when you use this effect, during the next standby phase, you can just destroy those monsters too, apparently. Yeah, destroying all your monsters, having to banish 3 dark monsters from your graveyard, then discard a dark monster. But then you can't use the effects of other monsters on the field or in the graveyard, but monsters in the hand, and should still be fair game, and also the banish pile, if that comes up. It's hard to say if this is like... I don't know, is this like... I feel like this is like right on the line between perfectly fine to print and maybe just a little pushing it. I don't know, it's honestly hard to say. I mean, destroy all monsters your opponent controls is a powerful enough effect, and that's alright, but we have cards like Raigeki the 3 and the TCG, and they don't really see play too much, despite the fact you can just nuke all your opponent's monsters, but... yeah, usually in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's easy enough to just either give your monsters, like, target protection... well, target protection is going to do nothing against Raigeki. Protection from destruction, or just simply outright, like, negate the card with something, like Baron de Fleur, or Savage Dragon, or... so many ways to just, like, stop the card from, like, just destroying all your monsters, and... of course, there's, like, also just ways to easily recur cards from the graveyard, much more so than there was, like, back in the day, when Raigeki was, like, first printed. I don't know, it's hard to say. This card could maybe be printed into the real Yu-Gi-Oh! Could be printed into the real game, and it might not, like... I don't think it will, like, completely, like, screw the game up. I mean, I can imagine it might at least definitely see some niche play. Since Veginator showed interest, here are some of the customs I made based on one of the randomly generated cards from... oh, I've seen this Lifeless Lancer already. So someone else just designed a few Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards of their own based on the Lifeless Lancer that the AI just generated a while back. Okay, so these cards are made by a human then. Everything, like, including the commander and afterwards. So Earth Zombies and Synchro Plays, this archetype would be, like... that's what this archetype would do, apparently. Yeah, this one is Earth. Earth Zombie and... oh, they'd also do plays with Union monsters. They'd also use the Union mechanic as well. Urarctic Circulation. Normal spell. Add 1 Urarctic card from your deck to your hand. If you control 2 or more Urarctic monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard, draw 2 cards. You can only use 1 Urarctic Circulation effect per turn, and only once that turn. Banish this card from your graveyard, draw 2 cards. Dang. But this is, like, locked into an archetype that's not really good. It hasn't seen, like, any competitive success still. I'd say print it and see if maybe Urarctic could actually just become meta one day. If this were, like, printed in some archetype that just regularly tops, like, high-profile Yu-Gi-Oh! Events, this would be a no. I don't know, I just see, like, Urarctic Circulation being that kind of card to basically just save the entire archetype from being, like, nigh unplayable. Reborn S. Sheet's Best Nightmare. Got a Spellcaster Link. 2 monsters with different types and different attributes. If this card's Link Summon, you can set 1 Reborn-S trap directly from your deck. Except I don't think this archetype exists either, right? Reborn-S. Doesn't look like it. Once per turn, quick effect, you can banish 1 trap from your graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster on the field, destroy it. Then, if it was a trap... I mean, trap monsters do exist, they just don't really show up often. Unless, I don't know, maybe this archetype that doesn't exist just plays a lot of trap monsters for some reason. If it was a trap, you can special summon 1 Reborn-S monster from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. So on a quick effect, banish 1 trap from your graveyard, target 1 face-up monster on the field, destroy it. So both during your turn and also during your opponent's turn, you can just go pop monsters. I mean, other than that, but even then, still, like, to be honest, everything else on the card just still reads like a perfectly normal Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like, this could probably exist. Yeah, I think this could probably exist. If the Reborn-S archetype actually did, which it doesn't. Starving Sea Lion. A rank 5 fish Xyz. Requires 2 level 5 fish, sea serpent, and or aqua type monsters. You can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, whose current attack is different from its original attack. Its attack becomes its original attack. Okay. When an Xyz material normal summon monster, I don't know what's going on here anymore, destroys a defense position monster by battle, this card gains 200 attack. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon 1 Starving Sea Lion from your graveyard. Not even once per turn on that, so this Starving Sea Lion can just keep on reviving itself as much as it wants as long as it hits the graveyard. And as long as the effect isn't negated or anything. This card could just theoretically keep on reviving itself. But then there's just the... I don't understand, like, what the Xyz material normal summon monster is supposed to be. That makes, like, basically next to no sense. Ah, yes. Usada Pekora in this prisoner costume, I think. I've definitely seen this costume before. Fiend Union effect. And we got more Union support. Once returned during your main phase, you can equip this card to a Slifer the Sky Dragon. We got more Egyptian god support! Equip this card to a Slifer the Sky Dragon you control. Or, unequip it to special summon this card and face up attack position. While equipped by this effect, if a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, draw 2 cards, then add 1 Slifer from your deck to your hand. Oh, it can only equip itself to Slifer the Sky Dragon though, right? But while equipped, if a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, draw 2 cards. Still. There is probably a way to just completely break the fact that you can draw 2 cards on each extra deck summon, and this is not a once per turn either. You can probably just find a way to completely break this. This has absolutely nothing... This also has absolutely nothing to do with Evil Twins or VTubers. No, Egyptian god support. Alright, so apparently Lila decided to dress up like Usada Pekora, got arrested and started supporting Slifer the Sky Dragon. While being in prison, mind you! From her jail cell, she is supporting Slifer the Sky Dragon. The draw effect absolutely fucking cracked, just a shame it's Slifer support. Which definitely nerfs it quite a bit. If you could just, like, slap her on, like, any, like, other monster. then like it would truly be broken. Just be able to like draw 2 cards on each extra deck special summon. I'm gonna probably have to watch this video later. Yu-Gi-Oh! Esport Prisoners. Sybil Flips came up with the idea for this show to mess with his friend and somehow inspired me to make an intro. Apparently I'm just gonna watch it now.
3, 2, 1, It's time to go to prison. Yu-Gi-Oh! Digital monsters, robots in disguise. Yu-Gi-Oh! Digital monsters, robots in disguise.
Also, when did Yu-Gi become black?
Fighting scene from the esports world. Yu-Gi-Oh! Digital monsters, robots in disguise. I activate my trap card. It's time to go to prison.
Yeah, if there was a spin-off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it was just about a bunch of people who were in prison. Then again, isn't there like a couple of episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds that just take place like within like the satellite prison or something? Yeah, then again we had a few episodes of 5Ds in the 5Ds prison anyways. Live Twin Rabbit. Which is also Yusada Pekora, apparently. Pekora again, I think. You can send 1 Kaiju monster from your deck to the graveyard. Target 1 monster in your graveyard with the same attributes, but a different name as that monster, special summon it. So basically like a slightly worse monster reborn that requires you to be playing Kaijus, of all cards. Something I play, so I would definitely be down to try this out. Yeah, this would definitely be a card I'd like to run myself. Again, absolutely nothing to do with Live Twins or VTubers. So, in terms of flavor, in terms of just making sense, it fails in that regard, but in terms of just how powerful the card is, it's perfectly reasonable. I think even at 3 still could be... I don't know, maybe it would be like also like a kind of card you put at like 1 or 2. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's like a kaiju monster for like every attribute that's not divine, so should be easy enough to just like reborn anything in your graveyard if you really want to. Despite the fact it's really got nothing to do with Live Twins, it's fine. ZW, Armored Phoenix, which is apparently also always treated as a Utopia card. When this card is normally special summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower ZW monster from your deck. You can target 1 Utopia monster you control. Equip this card from your hand or field to it. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn except with number C39 Utopia Ray. The equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense. But unless it's 1 specific Utopia monster, it's not going to be able to attack the turn you equip it. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can banish this equipped card. It equips 1 ZW spell trap card from your deck to that monster. Do any of the ZW cards... Are any of these ZW cards actually equipped cards? I do not know. Short for Zexal Weapon. It sounds like Zexal Weapons would have equipped cards in their archetype. Recommended cards. I'd have to probably look on Dueling Book or something and see if there's any ZW equips. If they actually exist. I don't know where to look here to just get like a full list of ZW cards. While they're equipped as equip spell cards to a monster, but... What did the card say again? One ZW spell trap card. Dude, are there even ZW spell trap cards, or are they all monsters? For all we know, they could literally just be all monsters. I guess I'd have to just look at all of them. I got another Fenrir card. I'm starting to think I'm like opening too many tabs here. For all we know, these could literally just be all monster cards. So far, it's just all monsters. Do they not even have any spells or traps? So I guess we would just have to like assume that if a card like this was printed, there would actually be ZW equip spells you could actually equip to one of your monsters. Because clearly all of these are like not spells or traps, they're all monsters. I mean, just in terms of the overall card effects themselves, nothing pops out as just outright broken or anything. It's just, there are no ZW spell trap cards, and if we assume that there actually were, this would be perfectly reasonable to print. But only if there were actual targets for the last effect. Otherwise no, it wouldn't make much sense. Ah, speaking of Fenrir, we got Fenrir the Soul-Drop Palm Dragon, who's hanging upside down from a tree branch or something, apparently. Zombie fusion effect. 3 zombie monsters. This slaps with super polymerization in Zombie World. Once returned, when a monster with attack less than or equal to this card is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can target one monster with less attack in your graveyard than the attack of whatever you normal summoned. Special summon a target in face-up defense position. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. Once returned during your main phase, you can target one Soul-Drop monster you control. Until the end of this turn, change its defense to 0, and if you do, destroy all monsters on the field with 0 defense. Why would we want to do that last effect, though? Unless their opponent's actually playing a ton of monsters with 0 defense. Or the Soul-Drop archetype actually exists, and it's themed around just making your opponent's monsters have 0 defense for some reason. What is this here? Fengli the Soldier Palm. This is the only Soldier Palm card there is, right? And it's not even a zombie, it's a plant. It has 0 defense, so I'm guessing maybe that's where it got the 0 defense from. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see anything else pop up. I don't know, this is still a weird one. It would be pretty funny to still just play this alongside Zombie World and Super Poly, of course, because that just lets you fuse away like 3 of your opponent's monsters right then and there. I mean, I don't know, I guess you just like don't have to activate the last effect if you don't want to. one after this is probably gonna be like a mouthful. But for now, we'll just look at this one. Ogdoadic Unending, Continuous Trap. You can normal summon or set one Ogdoadic monster in addition to your normal summoner set, which you can only do once per turn. Ogdoadic monsters you control cannot be tributed except for a tribute summon. Once per turn, if you control an Ogdoadic monster, target one monster your opponent controls. Send one Ogdoadic monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard with an attack less than or equal to that monster's. And if you do, special summon one Ogdoadic monster from your extra deck. This special summon is treated as a special summon by the effect of Egyptian Gag Scooby. What the hell is that last card? What the hell is that? Egyptian Gag Scooby? Ruh-roh indeed. Okay, aside from that, like, is this legitimately good Ogdoadic support? Like, would this actually, like, be reasonable Ogdoadic support, or would it be still just pushing it? Egyptian Gag Scooby, though, I can't get over that. I can't get over that card name that the AI came up with. I was not prepared for the last 3 words, me neither. There's no better form of comedy than having the most mundane moment of your life, and it's suddenly being broken by Egyptian Gag Scooby, and you are never able to recover. The ending it refers is the end phase because you can't play anymore. Ogdoadic can't play under this card. God, that last line hit me like a truck. On the other hand, I need to know what Egyptian Gag Scooby is. The last thing my opponent sees coming out of my extra deck. Leaked Egyptian Gag Scooby artwork. I don't know, I'm just gonna skip this one. I'm having a hard time just really taking things seriously with that last name of that hypothetical card. You know, with that last line, I'm just having so much trouble just taking it seriously. A haunted spirit of sorrow and evil that wanders the earth, rendering all creatures immobile, and rendering them less dangerous. It grows in size as it drags its enemies into oblivion. It is said to exist in the Valley of the Valkyries, and is said to dwell in the ruins of the Valkyries. Wait, so we got 2 for 1 here? We got 2 cards here? So this is the... And then this is like the something, and then the Ruins of the Valkyries. Name's too long, but I'll still read the text box. When using this card as a synchro material monster, the other synchro material monsters must be 3 zombie monsters from your hand or field. That's rough. Oh, 3 from your hand, so... Does this thing technically just let you synchro summon using monsters out of your hand? Assuming, of course, they're zombie monsters, that is. So does this thing technically let you just play, like, synchro monsters from using the materials from your hand? Because I think it might. Except it's gotta be zombie monsters, and you have to use this and exactly 3 other monsters as material. Yeah, if it let you just synchro summon using monsters from your hand, but it had that kind of restriction on it, that would actually be seriously interesting design space. And then a Haunted Spirit of the D, which is a level 1 synchro. We're already gonna say no to this because just as a bare minimum, you need like 2 monsters to synchro summon, and also monsters are at minimum level 1. So this is literally just not going to work. This just doesn't work. You can only control 1 Haunted Spirit of the D. Apparently it's just too game breaking to have like multiple copies of a 300 attack level 1 synchro out on the board. can target one Valkyrie monster in your graveyard except a Haunted Spirit of the D. Which this actually already isn't even a Valkyrie monster in the first place anyways. But more importantly, you literally cannot like properly synchro summon this. It's level 1. And you typically gotta just use up like 2 monsters who, at minimum, they're both gonna be level 1, so... A level 1 synchro? Yeah, I know. There's actually a level 1 synchro that exists in Yu-Gi-Oh, but... you instead actually have to summon it by subtracting the level of one monster from with the level of another monster. Yeah, it's one of those weird Ursarctic synchros that has this gimmick that to synchro summon some of their monsters, you instead have to just like take the level of one monster you control and then just subtract it with the level of another monster you control and then use those two as materials. So for example, for Ursarctic Polari, I think it was, the level 1 synchro, you can special summon it using a level 8 and a level 7 because 8 minus 7 equals 1. First card's actually really interesting, as I was saying earlier myself. Harsh restriction, but if you can like actually play around the harsh restriction, you get the power to just use materials from the hand. But it's greatly limited by the restriction, so that it can't just like, because like obviously if anyone could just like synchro using monsters in the hand, could start to see some real problems real quick. I think we can all admit, and is set to dwell in the ruins of the Valkyries is a pretty great name for a spirit. It sounds like it should be a metal album name. Second level 1 synchro that you actually can't summon this time around because this one, for some reason, acts like a normal synchro monster. You need to add like the levels of 2 monsters, which at minimum are going to be level 1 each, so literally not possible to summon under normal circumstances. How long have I been streaming, out of curiosity? Yeah, I just want to check, like, out of curiosity, how long I've been streaming for. About an hour. And here, okay, so apparently here we got, like, Wild Fusion, and then something about a Toon Turtle if I keep scrolling down. Wild Fusion, quick play spell. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists the hero monster's material. Using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. And if you do, the first 2 times, the fusion summon monster would be destroyed by battle with a monster equipped with a fire giant monster during this turn. It is not destroyed. What the hell? That fusion summon monster cannot be used as fusion material for a fusion summon attempt. You can only activate 1 wild fusion per turn. Basically just fusion summon a fusion monster that requires a hero monster. Because the rest of the effects... Okay, well, actually the second to last one... No, the last one just says you can only activate this once per turn. The second to last one that says that the fusion summon monster can't be used as fusion material makes sense. For a fusion summon attempt, it's just redundant. Might as well just write, can't be used as fusion material. That's all you need to write, really. I mean, what else are you gonna use a fusion material for? Of course, well, no shit you're gonna use a fusion material for a fusion summon attempt. What else are you gonna use it for? First 2 times the fusion summon monster would be destroyed by battle with a monster equipped with a fire giant monster. That's probably never gonna happen. So why does it need to, like, battle protection twice from something that's literally probably never gonna happen in the first place? But still, interesting to see the fusion on a quick play spell. I don't know, honestly, outside of the situations, the edge cases that will literally never come up at all, it's still like probably a reasonable card. Monsters from hand or field as material. Sure, it's on a quick play spell, but I still think this is fine. You can just like pretend the battle protection from fire giant, well, a monster equipped with fire giant monsters, because that'll never happen. Just pretend that doesn't exist, that's fine. I guess I'll just look at one more card then. Toon Turtle who laments the Shadow of Joy, which is a normal monster, so everything in its tech box is flavor text. A 1500 attack, level 4 Aqua. Yeah, just a level 4 1500 attack normal monster is perfectly fair game. Blessed by the power of the elements, this strange little creature enjoys mystical warriorism through mystic thought. This creature can neither be destroyed by battle nor sent to the netherworld. So, battle protection that actually isn't battle protection. You love to see it. So yeah, disclaimer, it's not actually like protected from being destroyed by battle or sent to the netherworld. What does the regular turtle who laments the Shadow of Joy look like anyways? Good question. Maybe I should see a therapist. These names are getting depressing. Who laments the Shadow of Joy? What the fuck? I love this little freak. That's the coldest name ever. Scar's name goes incredibly hard. I think he's lying about that destroy by battle part. And the part about the netherworld. You can't have toon restrictions if you have no effect. Can't even negate his battle immunity because it's a normal monster. Broken. Well, can't even negate battle immunity because he doesn't even have it. I don't know, maybe like that explains the Shadow of Joy part. Maybe that's what the lamentation is for. Maybe that's why he's lamenting something. I don't know. Definitely like makes me feel things. I don't know exactly what I'm feeling though, but this kind of card definitely makes me think. I'll just leave it at that.